Well, start another day here because I found a lot of Bondo in here. Oh, I guess first thing would be to patch that hole, but I'm going to strip all of this paint off of here. I'll have to be careful there around the gas tank to burn myself down. But first thing, I'm going to try to cut me out a little patch and fix that area. I decided to strip this whole thing down so I don't have any more Bondo surprises. And this is dented pretty good. Caved in a little right there. That side don't look too bad. But it looks like it was hit pretty good here in the back. Most of this I can get to, hammer out. So yeah, somebody did a pretty fair job on it. Nowhere near good enough. The main thing, I need to get this section right here straight. There's a little bit of a ridge right here and it slopes in, and that's what this piece here is going to have a little angle in it. So looks like I got a little hammering to do to get this straight. Yeah, you can see there, it's probably in, oh man, I don't know, at least 1/4 of an inch right in this area. I think I did put some Bondo in here before and straighten this bottom piece out. But I think I'm gonna take all this off of here again and make sure that metal is straight before I get too carried away with trying to Bondo up something that's just gonna come off. Well, this is pretty rough. I don't really worry about this section down here, about 1 inch of it, because I can't get to it from the back. Most of all the rest of this I can get to though. So this whole piece here looks like it's got to come out 1/4 of an inch. And somebody did a pretty fair job of it. But anyway, need to straighten this. That's probably what I'll do first, is try to get this flush straight across there. And that'll put a little stretch in the metal, so maybe I can knock out that one. Anyway, it's going to take quite a bit of hammering, but yeah, you can see there's really I don't know how much Bondo's on this one, but I think it's pretty straight. There's a little bit of a curve to it here. And this one, you can see it's got a 1/8 of an inch. Looks like this is probably out a little too far. This looks caved in. Anyway, just some hammering. Well, I got this one pretty straight. It's popped in a little bit, but all this pounding on it stretched it, so it's kind of got like a tin can effect. So popped in, I can put a little Bondo on it and that'll stiffen it up. And now I gotta get that place to come out. Anyway, this is a lot straighter than it was. When I get this beat out, it may change the tension on that plate. Again, this is really not too important because it's all underneath the bumper. But I still want to try to get it as straight as it possibly can. And at least get the metal in as close to the shape that it's supposed to be. Now, a little pounding here and try to get this piece sorted out. I'm kind of in the middle of my pounding. I've got this block of steel here, and I've got it where it's pretty straight in the bottom and pretty straight all along there, and a little bit of pounding and adjusting. But I'm pounding from the back, so anyway, I'm gonna get this piece here straight, and hopefully that'll put enough pressure on this that it'll be easier to pull that out. They've went in here before. There's brass down in there. Somebody brazed this. It's got quite a bit of rust. I might have to clean out this whole trunk area here and put rust stop on it and prime it. Yeah, it's a nasty job, but it really needs to be done. And at least this whole tailpiece here, most of it just dirt, looks bad, but a little wire brush and fixing will be alright. I put a very light dusting and primer on this. It's looks real straight. I've got a lot of dents in it, but now I can sand it, and where it's almost dry already, I'll sand this real quick and I'll show you. Yeah, I just hit it real quick with 80 grit, and you can see immediately where the high spots and low spots are. Looks like I've got quite a bit of highs here, so what I'm going to do is use my body stuff. I had a whole brand new set of body dollies. You can see they haven't been used, and I couldn't find them anywhere, and Nastia found them for me in about 5 minutes. I must have looked 2 hours, never did find them. But now I got some decent curved anvils and a pretty good hammer and a slapper. A little easier than a ball peen hammer and a sledgehammer. Well, I don't know if it's any easier, but better results. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of flatten this out here on the high side, and maybe I put a little primer on here. I'll sand it again, see where my high sides are on this, but I want to knock this one out first, and then when I sand it, I'll see the true high sides, and I'll tap these down. Yeah, my highs kind of jumped out here. Not too bad actually. So I'll just tap those in and put another little coat of primer on here. So once I get this back knocked out, I'll sand that once more. You can see there, it feels pretty smooth, and the highs are pretty evenly distributed through it. If you look down, it looks real straight. I think that's good, plenty good enough for the bond to work. And this kink, I'd say 50% of it came out. Now I'll try to get this out. This is kind of tin canny popping. I've stretched it so much hammering on it, and hopefully when I try to get this crooked piece out of here, that'll help the whole situation. Now, I gave this a few good licks, kind of moving. And this side, of course, this is, well, you know, looks like this whole thing's got a curve on it. Probably this is not very good either. It's got a curve. It's got a high spot. This one's low and the other one's high. So anyway, I'm pretty sure this has got to come out some more. What I'm going to do is heat this up with a propane torch pretty good. Maybe that'll make it a little softer. I'm afraid of hitting it so hard that I kink it. Let's see what the torch does. So, still a little left in it, but I think that's good enough to fix. Yeah, besides, it's all, pretty sure this is all under the bumper anyway. I don't know how high that bumper goes. I'll put it on and find out. Well, it looks like that whole thing there is going to be showing. Part of it will be covered by the centerpiece here. Here where the bolt holes are. Right there. Yeah, that centerpiece is going to cover most all of that up. I've got it, you can see the holes there on top. It's about 1/4 of an inch low. And the bumper's not on real straight either. And I think this bumper's got a bend in it to boot. Anyway, I think we're going to not have any trouble just straightening that piece out there with some Bondo and matching the rest of the curve of the car. Well, trying to straighten this out and bring it out more, I wind up putting some little dents in here. So at this point, I'm going to call it good, rough it up and put some Bondo on it and see what kind of shape I'm going to get out of it. There's a little Tiny coat of wet Bondo. It looks like I've got quite a ways to go. Looks like I got about half of it, and I've sort of tried to keep it kind of good there on the bottom. I'll let this harden up a little bit where I can sand it. It's probably pretty close right now. It's still wet there in a couple places. Yeah, I'll let it harden a little more. And sand off the high spots on that. Put another thin coat. That's a trick of, if there is a trick to doing Bondo. It's a lot of work to sand it off, and you want as little as you can get, so you put it on in thin coats, and that way, and straighten it, and another thin coat and straighten it, another thin coat and straighten it, until you're finally out to where you go. Sounds kind of weird, but putting less on is actually faster than putting a whole bunch on. You try to put a whole bunch on it, you wind up with, it's not very straight, and then you have to sand it, most of it down to get it straight, and then put more on. And this way you don't sand very much, you don't waste a lot of Bondo, and you keep your workpiece straight as you can the whole time. Well, I'm just gonna rough knock this off while it's still kind of wet. Now there it is, rough sanded. Looks like got quite a ways to go before I'm even straight. And I just sanded it down until I hit a couple of the highs. So I'll keep building this up, see what I can do about this curve right in there. I don't know how much Bondo it's going to take. It looks awfully high to me, but anyway, I'll figure that out once I get enough Bondo on here to tilt. Another coat. Looks pretty good. You can see that this part, I forget that this is a straight edge here, and this is going to have a lip on it, so this whole piece here is going to have to come up a little. To make it look like that one over there, so it's not a straight thing like I've got here. But I think what I'll do is try to grind this down here. Anyway, I'll worry about that when I get to it. That's still pretty wet. Need to put a little more hardener in it. The sun's kind of going down, cooling off. Make it go a little faster. I still never did get to my piece, but this seems to be the important part. I can sort of see my angle in here. I'll probably put another coat and start working on this section. It's got to look like that right there, and it's kind of caved in. I don't really want to go beating on it too much more. We'll see. Just keep moving. Now that little piece took it almost straight. Looks like I got quite a bit right there in front. Looks like this is kind of straight right to the hole. And I'm starting to get a curve in it. And the high point's just past the hole. So I'm going to work a little more right in this area. Let's see what happens. Well, the closer this gets, I start seeing some other problems. You see this has got a curve in it. Mostly from here to here. And you see this one's dead straight. Pretty straight. So, when you look at it here, you can see this is way too flat. So it's just metal in here. So I'm going to try to pound this out and see if I can get to the curve that it's supposed to have. Yeah, it's straight here. And this one, you can see it's got a curve, and this one don't. So anyway, I'll work on this top part and see if I can't get it matching a little better. Now I pounded that out. I've got a rough shape. I didn't want to go too far with it. Then I sanded it. Had a few highs that knocked them down a little. So I'm just going to cover this section with some Bondo first and try to get these two pieces to match as best I can. And then it'll be a little more obvious what I need to do down there. I can see there's a pretty good low in it. Anyway, put some more Bondo on. Another coat. Getting pretty close. Camera's not really showing it real well, but I can see there's almost got the right curve in it. And I can see that this angle here now is starting to show up. I'll put a little more right in there because I can tell that's low. But just creeping up on it. It's kind of like machine work. When you start turning stuff down or cutting it, cut it a little too big and then sneak up on your final dimension. Same thing here. You don't try to put a whole bunch on. Just sneak up on it. Makes it easy to sand. And you don't waste a lot of stuff. I keep calling this Bondo. It's not Bondo. It's this stuff here. U-Paul Fantastic. Bondo is $25. And this stuff was $17 plus shipping. I've only used half a can. Most of that got sanded off. But probably this gallon will do me for a whole car. Basically, if you only use a gallon of Bondo on a whole car, you've done really good body work, because half of that gallon goes on the ground anyway as sanding. So if you can basically have a quart on the car, you're doing pretty good. If you're using more than a gallon, you either got some major dents and stuff you're just trying to fix, or something weird's going on, but you shouldn't use more than a gallon on the whole car. Anyway, it's about ready to sand this off here. Well, you can pretty easily see there's a pretty good low spot right there. This has still got a little curve to it, but you don't even need a straight edge to see that. So that bottom piece has got to come out, and also the top piece. How straight is it? It's straight here, starting to get a little curve to it, a little curve down in here. So work on that bottom piece in the middle, pull some more Bondo up.